Alright everybody, Lawrence back with another Toon deck profile. So the previous one was what I call bottom heavy tunes, this one is what I call top heavy tunes, and it's just basically about which tunes you play level wise. 5 and above, you go top heavy, 5 and below, you go bottom heavy. So with that out of the way, before I get into this, there's that little thing in the down right there. If anybody knows how to get rid of that, I'm about technologically illiterate, so if you can tell me how to get that little Logi screen thingy right here out of the way, please inform me. It takes a clearer picture than using the built-in stuff. Was it really that easy? Oh my god, I'm dumb. You know what? I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna leave that in there. Because all I had to do was click watermark off. Anyway, let's get into this. I just happened to see it right there too. I don't know what to say. Alright, so your first 3 cards, we are still doing Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. It is pretty much your win condition. It's a very strong card. You know, it's splashable in almost any deck. Go ahead and run it. The Toons need all the help they can get, is all I'm going to say on that. Put that right there. Next up, we have our 3 Blackluster Soldiers, or Toon Blackluster Soldiers. This is kind of like your backup boss monster. A lot of people, I'm going to put this one in the middle because it's the collector's rare. A lot of people, and I watch a lot of Toon deck profiles, and they talk about Toon Blackluster Soldier as this awesome boss monster. It would be an awesome boss monster 10 years ago, you know what I mean? But now you've got UCT running around. The problem with this as your core boss monster is you cannot interfere with your opponent's plays in any way. Best you can do, maybe Dark Ruler and Banish, because you can't do any damage to him anyway. It's still a good solid card, and the reason we're running 3 of them as opposed to just 1 of them in our bottom heavy deck is this can attack directly the turn it is summoned. It does not have summoning sickness. But be forewarned, your primary goal is going to be to get this guy out and then have your other 2, if everything works out properly, to have Dark Dragoon. So going into next up, we have 2 Red Eyes Toon Dragon. You're running 2 of them, because trying to keep this deck to 40 cards, and I was getting really tight on the ratio, so we're just leaving this at 2. I never really felt like I needed more than 2. What Red Eyes Toon is going to do is it's either going to special summon Blackluster Soldier from the hand, or it's going to summon up our next card, Dark Magician, from the hand, and then Dark Magician will use his effect to special summon Blackluster Soldier specifically. Now the thing about Toon Dark Magician, and this is why I don't run more than 1 of them, how do I put it? He's a soft once per turn, which isn't like a bad thing or anything like that. So, but the odds of you using 1 of them and then getting another one out, and then being able to pay the cost to use the other one, there's too many things have to go right. And it's horribly inconsistent if I'm banking on getting 2 Toon Dark Magicians on the field, if that makes any sense. So you run 1 of them, and then you use this one to go into BLS. Next up, we have our 2 Toon Cyber Dragons. I don't understand why other Toon deck profiles don't run him. He is a free special summon, because I think everybody kind of has the correct idea. You want to go second with Toons. They're overwhelmingly likely going to have a monster on the board. You have this in your hand. Oh, hey, you got a monster? Boom, I summon it. Oh, hey, you have a monster in your extra monster zone? Well, I can go into my extra deck now and disrupt that play, like if it's Appaloosa or something like that. Appaloosa, whatever. Simorg Burg of Destiny, if you have Barrier Winds taken care of. But it's a really good card. I never run more than 2. I've never needed more than 2. So here we go. Next up we have triple Blackstones of Legend, and it's simply put, this gets you into your Red Eyes Toon Dragon. That's it. Nothing else. That's all you're using it for. It gets you into Red Eyes Toon Dragon. If they negate it somehow, you link it into Linkaribo. Alright, so there's our Toon monsters. Now you may recognize these guys from the previous video, and I'm just going to go ahead and play all of them. 2 lava golems, 2 gamma seals, 2 thunder kings. We have reduced 1 lava golem, because again, ratios were getting awfully tight, and trying to keep it at a 40 card minimum. So we are running the 2 lava golems instead. You essentially have 6 kaijus here, and it's as I said before, you want to go second. Ideally, they'll have 2 monsters you can pop with lava golem. If not, you got gamma seal and thunder king for 1, and you can get over Dragoon with this, you can get over Borreload's Savage Dragon with this, you can get over Appaloosa with this. I mean, there's so many things. About the only thing you cannot get around is Bird Up, and if they put Barrier Statue on the board because you don't have a special summon other than Harpy Lady, which is not in the deck, that is a wind monster. So those are the kaijus out of the way. The going second removal is still largely the same from the previous deck profile I showed. The main thing with this one is you're going for higher level monsters with higher damage. So next up, we're going to play a single Toon world in 3 Toon kingdoms. Now this is where I'm probably going to surprise y'all. Might be asking, why are we running a Toon world? Very simple. Toon Kingdom is what you want. Toon Kingdom takes the name Toon World while it's on the field. The vast majority of your cards cannot be played unless you have Toon World on the field. This one right here, it's that extra little oomph, it's that extra number to put it more in your favor to open with one of these cards. You don't want to see Toon World. You want to see Toon Kingdom. But if you have to rely on Toon World, you at least got it on the board so you can go into your Comic-Con, so you can go into your BLS Negate, or not Negate, I wish you had Negate, your BLS Banish, that kind of stuff. So you have 4 cards that can activate the rest of your deck instead of 3 cards that can activate the rest of your deck. It surprisingly does help. But that's that little bit of spice right there. Your spells and traps are largely going to remain the same. In fact, we're just going to go at it and bring out 3 Toon bookmarks, 3 Toon table of contents, and then, we'll save that for a bit because I want to talk about that one. Your 6 searchers, easy enough. This searches this does not search this. You want this in the graveyard to protect Toon World. Simple enough. I've gone into great detail on them several times, so I'll kind of just speed through these guys because I think everybody knows what they do by now. Getting into what we do not play in bottom heavy is Toon Page Flip. There is a reason for this. If you are doing bottom heavy, you are running Harpy Ladies, Toon Mermaids, maybe Gemini Elf, possibly, you know, that's maybe a tech choice, whatever you want, you know, however spicy you're feeling with that. But the point is, you can get them on the board, no problem. You don't have to tribute anything, you don't have to sacrifice anything, you don't have to activate any wacky effects. You pretty much just have to have Toon World out, and you can use it. Not so with top heavy. The only thing I don't like about it, which is why I don't run it in bottom heavy, is everything's random. It's a little bit more mitigated with top heavy. So, let's say I play Toon Page Flip, and I give you the options of, we're going to call this Dark Magician, Red Eyes Toon, and BLS. You want BLS on the board. That's your end game goal, is you want BLS on the board. You got a 1 in 3 chance to get them. If they summon up Toon Dark Magician. Well, hey, Toon Dark Magician can activate his effect to summon Toon BLS, assuming you have another Toon card in your hand. Let's say you summon Red Eyes Toon Dragon. Well, that Toon Dark Magician is going to go back into the deck, so you know you're not going to be able to summon him. But if you have a Toon BLS in your hand, you can use Red Eyes Toon effect to summon the BLS. It's not absolutely consistent, which is again why I don't run it in bottom heavy. It's a dice roll. But you need that dice roll. It's a safer dice roll, I think, is I think how I want to describe it. It's a bit of a safer dice roll. The end game push is to get that BLS on the board and hopefully do some damage that turn. Maybe even swing for game, depending on what you steal with your next card. Comic Hand. We are still running 2. Just in case one gets banished, we have the other one. The odds that both of them get banished, slim to none. Toon Bookmark can search it out. You search it out with Toon Bookmark, then you play your Toon World or your Toon Kingdom. And if you play your Toon Kingdom, then you banish it, you already have it in your hand. You steal Thunder King, you steal Lava Golem, whatever. Hey, maybe they got something even stronger out that you can steal that doesn't have any protection. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but, you know, whatever. You go into that, then you go into BLS, and that's hopefully at least 6,000 damage right there. And hopefully enough damage to make a dent, make a significant impact. And we'll talk more about that later. Next are your draw spells. You have 2 Pot of Extravagance, and you'll notice that these have different sleeves. I'll explain that in a minute. 3 Pot of Prosperity. You have 5 draw cards because you really want to get to Toon World / Kingdom, Comic Hand, and BLS. Those 3 cards. Those are what you're trying to get to. Prosperity's better, obviously, but I only have 3 copies, and I've been running dinosaurs these last couple weeks, so I put them in the dinosaur deck, and I was just too lazy to switch the sleeves over, so, you know, my fault on that one. And then your Pot of Extravagance, because largely you don't use the extra deck except for Verte and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, so you can pretty much safely just dump your extra deck and keep summoning, and just use that for draw. So I will put these over here, and I will put these back with the dinosaur deck. Alright, getting into the extra deck now. We will start off with Linkuriboh. If something goes wrong with Blackstone Legend, you can just link them into Linkuriboh. You've at least got something to help you. It's not much, but it can help you survive the turn. Next up, we are going into our fusions. So, El Shaddoll Construct, El Shaddoll Winda, El Shaddoll Apkallone, El Shaddoll Krista, and El Shaddoll Shikanaga. Pretty much, I grabbed all the El Shaddolls that were at my local comic book shop. The reason you're running these El Shaddolls is because you have super polymerization in your deck. Alright? You use super polymerization if you're going against Invoke Shaddolls or anything like that, you steal their Shaddoll and you summon your own. It's basically what we're looking at here. So it helps to fight those decks. Then next up we have more super poly targets. Starving Venom, Mud Dragon, Predaplant D-Chimera, Diplexer I think is how it's pronounced, and Marmaduke. And I think I got one more, yeah, Pants Dragon. They're just 6 generic super poly targets. If you're fighting against Dragon Links, you summon Toon Cyber Dragon, he's a machine, they're dragons usually, and use super poly into this. If you're doing Bird Up, well, I think I might have to take that one back because lately Bird Up hasn't been putting 3 links on the board, but if they do, he's a wind monster. You special summon you can special summon past barrier statue, usually using, what was it, Simorg, the Ancient Warriors, and they usually had another one out. I think it was like a Tribrigade or something. But like I said, lately, and I think because of this guy, lately they've been doing this, they just end on barrier statue. They don't put too many links out there anymore. Appaloosa, that was the other one. Diplexer Chimera, that requires 2 Cybers monsters. If you're going up against a Cybers deck, free summon. Predaplant D, Dragostapelia, I'm going to call it Dragostapelia. Pretty simple. If they are running their own Verte Dragoon package, you can use their Verte and their Dragoon to go into this because it requires a fusion monster, Dragoon, and a dark monster, Verte Anaconda. Mud Dragon, just a very good generic one to summon with. And Starving Venom requires dark monsters, just another generically good one. Next up we have Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. He's another simple, easy one because you put Toon Cyber Dragon on the board. If they have anything in their extra monster zone, Appaloosa, certain Link monsters. Appaloosa is pretty much the big one you would see. You tribute them both and you go into this. And then of course, Verte and Dragoon because you're not running Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes Black Dragon without these. So, easy enough. Easy day. Side deck, I'm going to tell you, has remained unchanged since our last one. It's completely unchanged. In fact, I'm just going to show everything right now. Floodgates, Tick Boo, and Summon Limit. Back row removal, Cosmic Cyclones, Galaxy Cyclones, and Harpy's Feather Duster. And then, of course, 3 Super Polys. I side deck Super Poly instead of main decking it because I don't know if they're going to have stuff for me to hit with Super Poly. Same with the back row removal. Most of the meta decks nowadays, they're very monster focused. They get monsters on the board that do crazy stuff, so I can kaiju them out. And then if it's something that I absolutely know, even if I get all the right cards, I can't beat over, usually Dragon Links, that's where Floodgates come in. Floodgates are good against that, and going first against Virtual World because they'll just start ripping cards out of your hand if you let them get going. So it doesn't even matter at that point. You want to stop them from going. Mostly Virtual World is what you want to run the Floodgates on, but if at any point you're paranoid that, hey, I don't think I can break that board even if I get like Lava Golem, a Kaiju, and Comic Hand, and whatever else I want, you just go on that. And then, not very important, but our tokens. Again, don't know why I have Nibiru token in there. And Weevil, Joey, and Pegasus. For reasons unknown to all of us. I just like those tokens. So that's what we're running. That will be it for this deck. My disclaimer about Toons, though, because as I've said in my previous video, I will post decks that have placed for me. And placing is anything that has earned me any prizes, even if it's just a single extra pack of cards. Don't care, I won something off of it. If you decide to do this with Toons, you are working 10 times harder than the guy who's doing it with anything meta-relevant. That is my one warning for Toons. You're putting in the extra effort when you could work a lot easier for the same results, if that makes any sense. But anyway, that's all I got for you for today. Now y'all go out there and treat each other like you have some sense.